I do hate sitting in that room. It's so close. Despite the fact that its ceilings are 16 feet tall and it's as wide as a lake. Relaying the contents of the job is never easy, especially when her loveliness keeps interrupting me. I didn't expect you to blah, blah, blah. Well, I didn't expect it either. I wasn't expecting sparks shooting from a woman's neck. Then what do? I walk over, pretending that I know something. What was I supposed to do? People would panic. So I grab her, pull her to the balcony, saying something along the lines of, "She seems tired. Perhaps she needs air," since she was getting strange looks at that point. The balcony had its own door and curtain, so I was able to shut it behind me and drag the woman, the thing, out into the dark of night. No one was the wiser, or no one seemed to care anymore. Just a woman acting hysterically. Nothing to be worried about. The obliviousness of people. Which was a good thing, because she seemed to crumple to the ground like a pile of what? Machinery? She made such a loud clanking noise, I'm surprised no one noticed. It was strange. Beyond strange. Lucky for me, my crew wasn't too far away. Mr. Taylor managed to climb over the trellis, pick her up, and tossed her over the side. Didn't matter at that point, we knew she wasn't human. Mr. Sweeney dragged her off, and they disappeared into the bushes. Now I had to get away before anyone noticed she was missing. But by then it was too late. There was a slight commotion in the ballroom. When I walked back in, everyone seemed to be huddling around something. I snuck through the crowd and saw a puddle of blood? That's not good. I got close enough to see a man bend down and swipe his finger in the substance. He said it was oil. Oil. Like from a machine. So not only was the thing sparking, it was leaking as well. Another minute, and the sparks might have lit the oil on fire. Lucky I was here. At that point, an older woman fainted. Why, I don't know, but men were trying to console her, saying that maybe the oil dripped from the lamps in the ceiling. There weren't lamps in the ceiling, but that seemed to calm the crowd, so I wasn't going to correct them. Servants came by and quickly cleaned up the oil, and the festivities continued. That was one problem solved. One of many, I'm expecting. Problem number one being the woman Mr. Taylor had thrown over the trellis wasn't actually a woman. Or human. When I relayed all this to Her Majesty, she seemed unimpressed. Nonplussed? Bored? No. She had an air of, "I knew this information already. I was expecting you to tell me something new." With that kind of air, then she would know a lot about our little mechanical friend. But that wasn't the case. Everything she told me before the ball was all she knew. Something strange was happening to her subjects, her servants in particular. People disappeared, then reappeared as a strange version of their former selves. They walked strangely, moved strangely. They barely talked, as if they were... what? As if they were possessed? No, not possessed. She equated it to the little birds you see in a cuckoo clock. Rigid and unnatural. Mechanical, she said. Now, What she's suggesting is that there are people walking around who are made of machinery. This sounds amazing! Mechanical beings roaming the earth. How could this have happened? I must know more. Which is good, because she wants me to find out more. All right, this should be easy. We'll just break down the thing that we got a hold of and see if we can trace back to its maker. That's simple enough, right? Maybe this will be a bit more difficult than I expect. Though Her Majesty says she has the utmost confidence in me. Well, good. I'm going to need as much of that confidence as I can possibly get. Well, this part of the job is done. Time to go.
Leaving so soon?
Helen Christ! Perhaps I'm only noticing this now. But how on earth does the guard dog appear out of nowhere? There was not a soul in this long hallway, and yet here he is before me. Sneaky devil. He has a name, I just refuse to use it.
Leaving so soon?
Well, this turned into an autopsy very quick. So unless you have a lab that's better than mine, I'll be taking my leave now.
Have you thought of just asking?
No. Why? Do you?
Follow me.
Should I be concerned?
That depends. Do you trust me?
Maybe ask me that on a better day. Trust is irrelevant at this point. I'm just fascinated. He opens a hidden door behind a painting and steps through, beckoning me to follow. We walk down, down, what seemed to be hundreds of steps, until we reached a large wooden door. I wasn't expecting this under a palace. He opened the door to a room as large as a church, with instruments along every wall. Various tables were around the room, and so many beakers. The room had a distinct smell of fresh linen that had been drying in the sun. The same smell my lab has. Which means this was a sorcerer's lab as well. But I have to admit, my lab is not nearly as impressive as this. I'm intrigued. Is this yours?
No, I only borrow it.
I was amazed. There was so much to take in. There were books and candles everywhere. The candles had recently been lit. There was parchment on every table, with different forms of writing on them, and drawings, and some of this looked familiar. If you borrow this, how much of it is yours?
All the paper you see on the tables.
You wrote this! I couldn't believe it. Alchemy, black magic. Can you do magic?
No. I only study it.
Well, that's something we have in common.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Then I assume you must have a grimoire.
I do. And no, you may not see it.
I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
Still no.
Damn it. I'll have to solve that mystery another day. For now, I am dying to work in this laboratory. You really don't mind?
By all means. I'm trying to help you, you know.
Then I thank you, and I must prepare. I turned to leave the grand room and make my way up the stairs.
Captain,
Commander?
I think this problem is a lot more serious than we think it is.
I'm taken aback. Was that worry I heard in his voice? Truthfully, I had the same thought, but I was worried he would actually say it. You may be right. So there's no time to lose.